have a lot of stuff to cover. And so the first thing I'm going to mention is that recently I went to Sarasota. Ivoclar sent me to Sarasota. They have a educational center in Sarasota where they teach these courses for dentists and lab technicians, like all kinds of different like techniques and stuff like that. So I attended the Intro to Complete Dentures course, part of it. I was there. I got there on the 24th, which was the day before the course, and I met with Don Yancey and Jay Sober. Don showed me around the lab and everything, which was really cool. And then him and myself and Jay went to dinner and just, kind of talked about, what I'm doing on YouTube and everything and what they do as lab technicians. And it was really awesome. It was good to be able to sit down and, like, actually talk to people who make our teeth, Then the next day, I attended the full course. They were just teaching the dentists and lab technicians how to make dentures from start to finish, the whole process involved in the creation of a denture. And then the next morning, I attended the first, hour or two, had lunch, and then came back to Jacksonville. So I'm going to have a series of videos coming up soon that are going to cover everything that went down in Sarasota, because there was a lot, like, oh my goodness, so much information. I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I've even got, like, a book, a whole book on everything involved in making their dentures, and it's very fascinating, and it's something that I feel like a lot of us should have at least a basic knowledge of, instead of thinking what I once upon a time thought, that they just go into their stash, their denture stash, and these look like they're gonna fit, and pop them in. Like, I didn't know how dentures were made, and so I'm really glad that I got that insight. So I'm gonna have a series coming up talking about how dentures are made. Also, I was able to talk to a lot of, well, not a lot, but like several dentists and lab technicians to hear their side of things that we don't get to see. As a patient, all we know is open wide. It's awkward when you're in the chair and you don't really have a lot of time to ask questions or get to know, like, the personal side of being a dentist and stuff like that. Or lab technicians, they don't get a lot of cred for what they do, and they do a lot, and I had no idea. And so I was so glad that I was able to talk with them and kind of get an idea of, what life is like in their shoes and stuff. So much information, and very, very grateful for Ivoclar sending me out there so that I can bring all that information back to you guys. Any way that I can get, stuff to share with you, like, I'm all over it. And big ups to my husband for staying home with the 4 kids so that I could go and do that. It was a good experience, and it was Rick Rott and Jay Sober and Don Yancey, and they are 3 lab technicians that work for Ivoclar, and they do amazing work. Don and Rick are the ones that are working on my bridges now, my new bridges. So those videos will be coming up soon. Today I had my wax try-in in Gainesville with Dr. Martin. Holy moly, I'm gonna put some pictures up at the end of this video, but wow, they were so amazing, so real. I would just have to show you so that you can see for yourself. And you know what I'm gonna do next time I go, because I have another appointment, another wax try-in, because there was one change that's gonna be made. Nothing with the teeth or anything, but I'll get into that. I'm going to take a picture of them next to these to show the difference, to show how much of a difference it is, because looking at me, like, you'd be like, what can you possibly improve with those? Like, what are you even doing right now? Because these look so nice, but here's the difference, and this is something that you've really got to consider, okay? These are very symmetrical, and they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. They look like veneers. It looks like I went out and I spent a lot of money on getting a perfect smile. And that's great. And I can totally live with this forever. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody wants a Hollywood glamorous smile. Through exchanging emails with a lot of people, the emotional toll that their teeth have taken on them is like, I'm over it. I'm over teeth. I just want a normal smile. I don't want a glamorous smile. I just want something that looks normal, that is not broken and falling apart, that is not discolored, just not crooked and sticking out. Like, I just want a normal looking smile. And so that's kind of what my new bridges are going to look like. They've got a lot more character. With these, like, they're all laid out kind of the same. With the new ones, there's slight turns and little, minor gaps and things like that they mimic natural teeth better than these do. The area here is very flat, whereas with the new bridges, there's, slight curvatures that mimic natural teeth. You see how shiny these are because they're very slick. They're very flat, and so it's like a polished, like plastic almost. So they're reflecting light, and that draws a lot of attention to them. Whereas the new teeth have a textured surface that's like natural teeth, and that texture is going to help absorb the light to give it more of a diffused look so that it's not flashing in your face like a neon sign. It just all kind of blends with your face much better. And you'll see the pictures and you'll be able to see the differences between those and what I have right now. So I want to reiterate the wax try-in situation because this is important for people to understand. When you see yourself with anything new, good or bad, you're going to be alarmed because it's going to look different, and your brain is just going to go, no, that doesn't look right. Like, that doesn't look like what I'm used to. That doesn't look like me because it's different. You see yourself like this for however long, and then suddenly everything has changed, and it's like your whole face changes. Your teeth play a big role in your overall appearance, and so when you first look in the mirror, you're going to want to instantly reject whatever you're looking at because it just doesn't look the same. But my suggestion is, as always, to, for one, be alone in the room. Ask the dentist if you can have a moment with the teeth by yourself. Have some privacy. But also, Don Yancey, the lab technician in Sarasota, he mentioned some really good advice or really good insight into how that whole thing works. Usually, the dentist will hand you a mirror, little mirror, and you're sitting there like this in the dentist chair with all these bright lights, and you're sitting there doing stuff like this. And you're doing all these things that you wouldn't do on a daily basis. You're contorting your mouth like all sorts of ways, and it just is like, looks weird. And you're nitpicking. You're like, oh, well, why is this tooth turned in a little bit more that way, and this tooth is turned, and you're seeing all these things, and you're basically saying, just make them look like piano keys, because you've got that little mirror in your face, and you're finding all these little flaws, but those little flaws are what's going to give your teeth character. And so what he said is that he'll have like a mirror like on the wall with like a plant by it or whatever, and so they can just be at like a normal distance, just kind of talking like you normally would. Don't sit up there in the dentist chair and do all like this and make the awkward faces and stuff and expect to like what you're seeing. It's very good information. I also discovered a new tip totally by accident today that I think could really help you. So my sister didn't come with me today, so it was just me. And I asked Dr. Martin and Heather if, and they're so cool and down to earth to be around, but even around them, it's still best if you have a moment alone to process. So I was on the phone with my sister talking to her about my teeth, and I went to the bathroom. In the bathroom, there's that big mirror, and I'm on the phone and I'm talking, which is basically me mimicking a real life scenario, seeing how I would look in real life situations with the teeth, talking. How do I look talking? How do I look, in a bathroom mirror as opposed to this little mirror like in my face with the bright fluorescent lights dangling above me? And that gave me such a better idea of how everything would look. And like when I came out of that bathroom, I was like, oh my god, like I love them, because they just looked so good. They're so much softer than these. They're curved more, so that gives it a more feminine and youthful appearance than what these have and everything. But yeah, so I mean, even as awesome as they were, I was like, when I saw them, I was like, I look different. Like, something just is off, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. And it's just because, yeah, they are going to look different. I mean, you want an improvement, right? Well, an improvement is going to make you look different, and that's just what it is. So try to find a way to have like some kind of, a real life situation, act out or play out, like going to the bathroom, talking in a mirror, and stuff like that, and make sure that you're alone so that you don't feel like you've got to say, oh, I love them, And I was really looking to see, I was trying to find something wrong because I'm so nervous about saying, yeah, make them, and then I'm like, oh, I should have done this. But I couldn't find anything wrong. They're just, he did such an incredible job. I'll just let the pictures speak for themselves. Now, there was one thing that we decided to do, totally by chance. You all know that I'm constantly talking about the lip support situation. And it's not just me, it is a lot of women. A lot of women that end up with the All-on-4 have the issue with lip support. So I showed I logged into my Facebook in his office, and I showed him what I meant. I showed him pictures of me with my dentures and how much fuller my lip was. I mean, it was noticeably fuller with the dentures. And so one thing that I had realized was that when I transitioned from dentures to these, my bite closed. And I didn't even think about that. But now looking back, I remember that, it felt like I was closing further in than I was used to. So where I would have like closed like this, now closing like that, And it seems like that's not a big deal, but if my bite is like this, you can't pull those bottom teeth out and up to support that lip. But since they closed my bite a little further than what I had with my dentures, Dr. Martin thinks that he can open the bite back up a little bit more, like this. And it's going to create a little bit of space right there to where they can maneuver these teeth, pull them up a little bit and out to support my lip more, like my dentures did. And I'm really hoping that that does the trick. I mean, I'm okay. I've gotten used to the way I look right now. I can live, and I don't hate how I look. I think that I look okay and everything. But like, if I could have my full lip back, I mean, women are just like that. We like full lips. And I had that, and I'd like it back, please. And so if he can do that, that would be great. And then maybe that's something that, maybe it's an option for some of you out there that, maybe if your bite could possibly be opened a little bit more and pull it out. But don't go thinking I'm saying that everybody's can, because that's a serious situation. Because like when I started closing my mouth more, it hurt the muscles in my face because I wasn't used to closing that far. And so now, since I am used to closing that far, I'm gonna have to relearn how to not close that bar, and it's going to kind of exhaust these muscles and take a while to have that, you know, muscle memory kick in to where it's okay, you know, it feels normal again. So I don't know if that's gonna work, but hopefully it will, and then I will be just a happy camper, like straight up, everything will be great. So yeah, that's my update, and my next wax try-in will be next month, at the end of the next month, so it's gonna be a while. And then they're gonna have those changes with, you know, pulling those teeth up and out, and that's all they're gonna do. That's the only changes they're gonna do, and then they're gonna start doing stuff to prepare to make the framework, which is the titanium bars inside of it and everything. And then, in the meantime, I'm getting tired, it's late. Excuse me. In the meantime, I'm going to start processing all the stuff that I got from Sarasota, because I got some video clips and I got some pictures and stuff like that, and they gave me a little notebook to take notes, and I took like a whole bunch of notes. Where are they? Oh wow. I took a whole bunch of notes in here and stuff, so I'm going to go through that so that I can give you guys like a legit video about it. Gosh, they gave me a bunch of stuff. See? All kinds of cool stuff. All that. So I'll do that, and I'm going to start making some videos for the next several weeks, talking about everything I learned there. In the meantime, here's the picture that they gave me. And that's all of us. Well, there. Me. There's Ted Smoody from Ivoclar. He's the guy that I've been dealing with as far as Ivoclar goes. He's a very cool guy. He flew in from Buffalo. And there's Rick Rott. He's one of the lab technicians there in Sarasota. And where are we at here? Oh my goodness, this is so bad. There, that's Don Yancey. He's awesome. And there's Jay Sober. He's another lab technician, and he's from New York. And then the rest of them are dentists and lab technicians. And I talked to pretty much all of them. Not every single one of them, but most of them. And they're all great people. And you know, just the fact that they're leaving their job, their income, paying to take a course so they can learn how to better make your dentures. That's awesome. And that's going to be some of the things that I get into in these videos, and they're going to be so informative. I just can't wait for those. So you guys be looking out for them. There's not going to be like a whole month going by before I do an update anymore. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, so be on the lookout for those, and you guys take care.